Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. I would like to begin today's episode with a question. What's frustrating you right now? I want you to take a moment and think about it. Maybe it's a player, coach, maybe a parent, maybe a teacher, or one of the leader around you, or maybe a friend. Maybe it's someone you care about deeply. Now let me ask you another question. What were you expecting from them? Because the longer I spend around athletes, coaches, parents, teachers, leaders, and students, the more I'm convinced the most frustration is not created by reality. Most frustration is created by the gap between the reality and the expectation. And I call this the expectations gap. And once you begin noticing it, you see it everywhere. A player expects more playing time. A coach expects more commitment. A parent expects more gratitude. A teacher expects more effort. A leader expects more initiative. The expectation exists. Reality delivers something completely different. Then frustration appears. The interesting part is that most people blame the frustration on the outcome, but often the real issue is the expectation itself. There's something even more important. Most expectations are invisible. People rarely announce them, they rarely write them down, they rarely communicate them. They simply just carry them very quietly, very silently. And they become frustrated when other people fail to meet expectations they never knew existed. And think about how often this happens. A coach expects players to arrive early. Nobody says it directly. Players arrive on time. The coach becomes frustrated. The players are confused. The expectation existed. The communication did not. A parent expects appreciation. The children never express it the way the parent hoped. Parent feels disappointed, and the children have no idea why. But the expectation has existed, and the communication did not. A leader expects initiative. Team members wait for instructions. The leader becomes frustrated. The team members believe they are doing exactly what is required. Again, the expectations existed, the communications did not. And one of the most important lessons I have learned is this. The most dangerous expectations are not unrealistic expectations. The most dangerous expectations are unspoken expectations because people cannot meet expectations they do not know exist. This applies to every area of life: relationships, leadership, parenting, teaching, coaching, friendship, marriage, teams, organizations. Human beings consistently create expectations. Problem is that we often assume others see the world exactly the way we do. They do not. They have different experiences, different personalities and perspectives and priorities and assumptions. What feels obvious to one person may be completely invisible to another. Their reality creates countless misunderstandings. A player believes they're working hard. A coach believes the player is doing the minimum. A teacher believes expectations are clear. Students believe expectations are confusing. A parent believes boundaries are understood. Children believe the rule keep changing. And everyone is operating from their own perspective. And everyone assumes their perspective is obvious. And it rarely is. This is why communication matters so much. Strong leaders communicate expectations. Strong coaches communicate expectations. Strong teachers communicate expectations. Strong parents communicate expectations. Not once, repeatedly, clearly, consistently, because clarity prevents confusion. And confusion often becomes frustration. And there is another side of this conversation, though. Sometimes the issue is not communication. Sometimes the issue is the expectation itself. Not every expectation is realistic. Not every timeline is realistic. Not every goal is realistic, and not every demand is realistic. Sometimes we expect growth to happen faster than it does. Sometimes we expect people to change faster than they can. And sometimes we expect perfection from ourselves. And sometimes we expect perfection from others. And those expectations create frustration as well. One of the signs of maturity is learning to evaluate our expectations honestly, not lowering standards or abandoning ambition, simply asking better questions. Is this expectation realistic? Is it fair? Has it been communicated? Does the other person even know it exists? Those questions can prevent countless conflicts. The strongest coaches I know do this well. They establish standards. They communicate them clearly. They revisit them often. The strongest leaders do the same. The strongest parents do the same. The strongest teachers do the same. They understand that people cannot consistently meet expectations they do not understand. And faith offers an interesting perspective on this topic. Many disappointments in life come from expectations we quietly create about how life should unfold. We expect certain opportunities, certain timelines, certain outcomes, certain answers. Then reality arrives. Life takes a different path, and disappointment follows. And sometimes the greatest challenge is not changing reality. Sometimes the greatest challenge is adjusting expectations. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. And wisdom understands the difference between what should happen, what could happen, and what is actually happening. As I grow older, I find myself paying closer attention to frustration. Whenever frustration appears, I try to ask a simple question. What expectation is hiding underneath this feeling? The answer is often revealing, because frustration is usually a symptom, and expectations are often the source. When we identify the expectation, we gain clarity. When we gain clarity, we can communicate. We can adjust, adapt, or let go. And that often changes everything. As we close today's episode, I want to leave you with a challenge. Think about a frustration you are currently experiencing. Now I want you to ask yourself, what expectation is underneath it? Was that expectation realistic? Was it communicated? Did the other person even know it existed? Because behind almost every frustration is an expectation. And behind many expectations is a conversation that never happened. The question is, it is not why are people disappointing me? The question is, have I clearly communicated what I expected? Because people cannot meet expectations they never knew existed. Thank you for joining me for episode 15 of Beyond the Scoreboard. Until next time, continue pursuing excellence, continue investing in people, and remember that some of life's most important lessons are found beyond the scoreboard.